Hello students, as we did mixture and compounds properties in our previous video, now I am taking mixtures in detail. Okay, so mixtures, I am telling you firstly that they can be of three types. We have done that homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture, but here mixtures can be true solution, mixtures can be colloidal solutions, and mixtures can be suspensions also. On what basis I am saying that mixtures can be true solution, colloidal solution or suspension? On the basis of their particle size. Okay students, so firstly I am taking this true solution, or simply we call them as solution. So what are these true solution or solution? True solution, when one substance get mixed completely into other, true solution is obtained, or simply solution is obtained. Or if we are taking the definition, homogeneous mixture of two or more than two non-reacting substances, as we did in the properties of mixture, that the constituents do not react with each other. So while defining, what we are taking, homogeneous mixture of two or more than two non-reacting substances, this forms true solution or simply solution. Okay, student. Now here I am taking solution possesses two parts. One is solute and other is solvent. What is the solute word? Fraction in lesser amount. In the solution, whatever substance is present in lesser amount is called solute, while the fraction in larger amount. Fraction in larger amount. So here we can say substance which is present in more amount in the solution is called solvent. If we are taking example, I am telling you this solute and solvent by taking example like salt. If you are dissolving in water, obviously lesser amount of salt you will add in water. Water will be in larger amount. So water will act like solvent and salt will act like solute. Sugar in milk. Sugar in less amount, milk is in more amount. Sugar is acting like solute, milk is acting like solvent. Same as sugar in water. Here in all the cases, I am mixing solid and liquid. Sugar is solid in milk. Sugar and solid in water, liquid. So it is not compulsory that solid when dissolved in liquid forms solution. Sometimes air when get mixed together, different gases when mixed together, they can also form mixture. Like air in our atmosphere is also a mixture. It is homogeneous. Why we are calling it homogeneous? Because we cannot able to see the constituents. Alloys, these are solids like brass, bronze, steel which we are using at home. They all are alloys. What is alloy? Homogeneous mixture of two or more than two metals or metal with non-metal. They form alloys. So alloys are solid mixtures. Air is gaseous mixture. So mixtures can be in the gaseous form, in the solid form, in the liquid form. Clear? If I am mixing milk and water, that will be liquid mixture. Salt in water, solid in liquid mixture. Aerated drinks, students, thumbs up, Coca-Cola and many are there. So in that, you know that carbon dioxide is dissolved in the solution. So air and water, gas and liquid. So these different types of mixtures we have done. All are homogeneous in nature and all are regarded as true solution or simply solution. Is it clear, students? Now, one more term I am giving you, students. It is also new for it, I think. Saturated solution and unsaturated solution. What do you mean by these two? Saturated solution is if no more solute can be added to the given amount of solvent at a particular conditions of temperature and pressure. That is called saturated solution. Like I am taking one case, students, like 100 ml of water I am taking. If I am dissolving 10 grams of sugar, it will totally get dissolved. Then I am increasing the amount of sugar, but the amount of water will be 100 ml only. 10 grams, 20 grams, 50 grams, 60 grams. If you are increasing the amount of sugar, more and more, one time will come that no more sugar will be soluble in that 100 ml of water. So when the sugar will stop dissolving into that given liquid, at that time we can call the solution as saturated solution. But if we can add more and more solute to the given solvent, that will be unsaturated solution. One more thing which is important, students, that amount of solute in the saturated solution, whatever amount of solute is there in the saturated solution, as the solution is getting saturated condition that no more solute can be added, whatever the maximum amount of solute is there in that solution is called its solubility. So how can you define the solubility? It is maximum amount of solute which is present in the solution at saturated condition. Or simply you can take this also, amount of solute in the saturated solution. It is called solubility of the solution. Clear? One more thing, students, that I am referring that at the particular conditions of temperature, what will happen if you increase the temperature in case of saturated solution? Remember, students, if we increase the temperature, more amount of solute can be added. Why? In the first chapter we did that why one thing dissolves into other, why sugar is getting dissolved in water. In that we did that water molecules are having space in between them and the sugar get trapped in that spaces. So here we are doing that on heating, why we can add more amount of solute in the saturated solution. Students, as you are heating the solution, kinetic energy of the molecule will increase and which develop more amount of spaces in between the molecules, and thus more amount of solute can be added in the given solution which was saturated initially. But on heating, due to increase in kinetic energy, more spaces are developing, molecules are moving far apart from each other, thus we can add more amount of solute into it. But if we cool that solution, सैचुरेटेड था, शक्कर नहीं घुल पा रही थी, सॉल्यूट नहीं घुल पा रहा था, हीट कर दिया हमने और हमने उसमें सॉल्यूट डिसॉल्व कर लिया. अब उसी सॉल्यूशन को अगर हमने कूल कर लिया तो क्या होगा? ऑन कूलिंग सॉल्यूट crystallizes out. It will again comes out from the solution and settle down at the bottom. So I think that what is saturated solution, unsaturated solution, what is solubility, and what happens to the saturated solution on increasing the temperature is clear to you, students. Next is properties of solutions. Like we did the properties of different substances like compounds, elements, mixtures. Now in mixtures I am taking solutions. That solution properties we are taking. Solutions are always homogeneous in nature. What is this word homogeneous? Composition is same throughout the solution. Same composition is there throughout the solution. Then the particle size that I was telling you before also, that mixtures can be solutions, mixture can be colloidal solutions, mixtures can be suspensions. On what basis we are saying that these are mixtures? On the basis of particle size. So in solutions, particle size is less than 1 nanometer. Nanometer, NaNO मीटर, 1 नैनोमीटर से कम. ये नैनोमीटर होता क्या है? 1 nanometer is equal to 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 9 meters. You should know, students, this conversion. 1 nanometer is equal to 1 into 10 power minus 9 meters. Clear? Then next property of solution is particles cannot be seen by naked eyes or by any means, any microscope if we can take. We will not able to see the particles of the colloidal, of the true solutions, because the particle size is so small that it cannot be viewed, it cannot be seen. Okay, so particles cannot be seen by naked eyes or by any microscope. Clear? Next is solutions are highly stable. If we are leaving solution of salt and water for several days, salt will never settle down. कभी नहीं नीचे बैठेगा, या शक्कर पानी में घोला है तो थोड़ी देर बाद शक्कर नीचे आ जाएगी, ऐसा कभी नहीं होता. तो that's why we are saying that solutions are highly stable. If the solution is involving water, in that case we call that solution as aqueous solution. And if water is not there, we can call it as non-aqueous solutions also. So for today I am taking this much only, students. Do it nicely. Again I am repeating, students, whether you have learned that atomic numbers, masses, symbols or not. If no, please learn it because they are very important, and after that only you let me know, students, so that I can give you atomic numbers from 11 to 20 also, list of that elements. Okay, thank you, students.